So, let me ask you guys a question. What is the worst weapon in Fallout New Vegas? Obviously, this is completely subjective. Some of you might say the silenced 22 caliber pistol. Others may go with the rolling pin. How about Euclid's C-Finder? It's barely even a weapon in and of itself. Well, many players seem to forget that Fallout New Vegas brought back a fan favorite terrible weapon from Fallout 3, and as best I can tell, nobody else has done a playthrough using this game's version of the weapon on YouTube. Today, we are going to see if it is possible to beat Fallout New Vegas using only the BB gun. I named myself Ralphie to get into the Christmas spirit. This was supposed to come out before Christmas, but I was lazy. I built a character based on luck, endurance, agility, and intelligence. I picked lockpick, speech, and guns for my tag skills, and early bird and skilled for my traits. I stole a BB gun with 12 BBs from a local Goodsprings home, where I was then able to complete the first part of Sunny's summer camp for once. I let her and Cheyenne kill all the geckos because why waste my ammo on them? And then, honestly, I have to say that the BB gun does more damage than I expected, at least on the easy difficulty. I then led a bark scorpion into town, was hoping that it would eat some of the townspeople, but the townspeople did nothing and the scorpion ran away. Shed apparently doesn't actually sell BBs at all, and then I set out for New Vegas with only 3 BBs to my name. After stopping in Sloan to fix Snuffle's leg, I attempted and failed to sneak past a Deathclaw. That happened twice, actually. Now, I've never seen a Deathclaw do this, and eventually I did sneak over the mountains, but it was more painful than I expected. I was able to procure 228 BBs from the Gunrunners, many of which were then used in this 400% speed fight against a single Freeside thug. I just really don't know what to say about this. This thing is a lot more terrible than I was kind of hoping it would be after that first section of the game where it did some damage to the geckos. I then spent a solid 27 minutes getting kicked out of the Atomic Wrangler, which allowed me to pass the credit check to the Strip. From there, I detoured back to Primm to get Eddie, and my weapon broke because it's not very high quality. I obtained the unique Albaline Kid BB gun. Victor then caught up to me in Freeside. I then recruited Fisto the Professional Fister for my fisting tour, and the game crashed. This particular challenge run was really complicated by the large amount of technical problems because I had way more than normal. The game kept crashing. Even by Bethesda standards, it was more than normal. The game crashed way too many times, lagged a lot, just so many issues, and even the audio desynced by the end of it, so that's part of the reason why this may not be the best looking challenge run so far that I've done on YouTube. Upon returning to the game for the second stream, I finished clearing out the streets of Primm. From there I was able to repair Eddie and finished Long Duck Dong Atomic Tango. Upon reaching level 6 and taking toughness as my perk, I got Benny into his suite alone, where I then agreed to work with him, as it actually allows you to clear this section without any combat, something that I don't think I knew before now. I then met Yes Man, which was immediately followed by the meeting of Mr. House. I was able to buy 212 more BBs from the Gunrunners, and I have to wonder why the Gunrunners themselves would waste time and resources making BBs instead of actually useful ammo. We fight past some Vipers, and then I found out that you can turn the Ravens that fly around hostile. It astounds me that even 10 years later I can still find things I really didn't know about this game. That just really speaks to the staying power of Fallout New Vegas, and I really hope we get more games like this in the future. I entered the fort. The BB gun is terrible against robots as expected. Eddie is a definite lifesaver. Mr. House's army is upgraded to Windows 98, and I decided to see what happens if you choose to free Benny. It doesn't end well, though I really don't understand why it pisses off the Legion so much. I mean, he gave me the right to choose Benny's fate, so who cares if I let him go free? You can just kill him for me instead of, trying to kill me instead. So, one thing I found out here is that you can actually tell Benny that you're going to kill him but instead just leave. So there's no violence from Caesar, no killing actually needed. Pacifist run continued if you were interested in that. Our next objective is to put Mr. House out of commission. He should really get better security. If one drunk 25-year-old can get past all of his guards with a BB gun, imagine what someone could do with a real weapon like a switchblade or a recharger rifle. It'd be so much more devastating. I Travis Etienne'd my way to the Boomer base, listened to the mural story for like the 50th time now, but this time it managed to break the game. And I made this little Boomer, he's probably too young for an okay Boomer joke, repeat his first line non-stop over and over again. I started some other Boomer quests, then the game crashed when I went to Hidden Valley. Returning to the game, I made the executive decision that instead of trying to play through the game like I wanted to, I would simply be trying to beat the game quickly to deal with all the serious technical problems that were far worse in this run than normal. I convinced the ranger that he had accidentally crawled into John Kramer's basement. I left the Brotherhood of Steel behind forever, got Veronica to join the team a little bit late, got a little stuck fighting a named Fiend, and then dealt with the Great Khans in near record time. I talked to the receptionist at Hotel Gonorrhea. I traded with Mr. Holdout, of all characters. I never really even talked to him because there's no real point. Speed ran the Ultra Lux encounter, and then installed Yes Man as the ruler of Vegas. At the El Dorado substation, I managed to get a sneak attack critical with the BB gun for an instant kill. Imagine that when you go to hell, a demon asks you how you died, you have to tell him that your head exploded from being hit by a BB propelled at sub-lethal velocity, and then he punishes you to an eternity of having a BB gun shoved up your ass and firing infinitely into your bowels and your rectum and just suffering. I think I was trying to make that sound more entertaining than it probably was. With 620 BBs to my name, I began the final battle, which quickly led to yet another game crash and plenty of lag. I scared off the two guys that had power armor, redirected power to the fort, let the Securitrons fight most of the legionaries, and we soon managed to kill a Praetorian guard with only 12 BBs. Ignore all the lasers and powerful fisting in the background. I did it with only the BBs, that's all that matters. I was repeatedly exploded and crippled. I sniped a veteran legionary, made a handy-dandy backup save, and fought the Legate 3-on-1, managing to break the game once again. On attempt number 2, I took a whole lot of drugs, and then by some miracle managed to actually kill the Legate, almost entirely alone with only the BB gun. It took over 3 minutes of constant fire and over 100 BBs, but I actually did it, and this was also on easy difficulty. Sometimes I surprise even myself with my arguable gaming skill. Don't worry, the fight will be greatly sped up. I'm not going to make you sit here for the next 3 minutes watching him get hit by tiny little metal pellets, but the full fight will be in the third stream linked below in the video description if you wish to see it with the badly desynced audio because I could not get this series of streams to work out. The Securitrons erased all traces of the NCR from the battlefield, and I successfully beat Fallout New Vegas using only the BB gun. In the end, this run really wasn't as difficult as I expected it to be. The BB gun is definitely awful, but playing on one of the easier difficulties with companions and running through the game in like 5 hours, skipping some of the quests, made it a lot more doable. I actually kind of want to revisit this challenge in the future on a higher difficulty with no companions and maybe even picking a different side, but I would really need the game to actually cooperate and not keep crashing and lagging and desyncing the audio like it was to make that more worthwhile, but I think that would be interesting sometime in the future along with, say, a toy knife on very hard difficulty playthrough for Fallout 3, Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Please like, favorite, share, leave a comment, subscribe, and ring that bell if you haven't done so already, and I will see you for the next challenge.